What's going on, guys? It's Girl Sam Shugs. We're going to be continuing our brand basics series today after a little bit of a hiatus in which I apologize. I am currently moving from Providence, Rhode Island back into Boston, so just been configuring some things around, so I'm excited for this change in my life to be over, my new chapter to start, in which I'm going to continue my brand basics series. And without further ado, today we're going to be talking about OAMC. So this might be a brand that a lot of you are not familiar with, in which I hope to shine a light on today. They're one of my favorite brands just because they really do bridge the gap between high fashion and streetwear. And I know there are a lot of brands out there whose claim to fame is doing that exact thing. However, I really feel, given the background of the two founders of this brand and what they set out to accomplish and the fact that they are accomplishing those things, really resonates with me and really makes me feel strongly as to the fact that they're doing what they intended to do. So first and foremost, what does OAMC mean? So it's actually an acronym in which it stands for Overall Master Cloth. And that was the original, definition of OAMC. But what's really interesting about this brand is that with every new season, the O and the A and the M and the C all change meaning to reflect, where the inspiration was drawn from for that season. But before we continue diving into the brand, I think it's important that you find out a little bit more about the people who started it. So you might be familiar with the name Luke Meyer. He used to be the head creative director and designer over at Supreme, and Arno Fay, who used to be the creative director lead at Carhartt Work in Progress. So the two of these met and created this brainchild, which is OAMC, in which they have taken and drawn on their backgrounds and experiences at Carhartt and Supreme and elevated it to that luxury streetwear level. So this elevated workwear and this elevated everyday wear came to being in OAMC in 2013, and from there the two really took off in what they were trying to do as much as the media facilitated it. So having been successful in both of those two companies previously, people were looking in their direction to see what they were doing next, and that's when OAMC really started to make waves. So as I previously mentioned, the two come from backgrounds of workwear and streetwear, in which they wanted to elevate it by using new materials that incorporated a technological component to it. So it not only was really well done and really well made garments, but there was that technological fabric involved as well that increased the durability, increased the longevity of each of the garments, and made them really stand the test of time. And some of these more technical components really go down to the nitty-gritty details, like triple stitching, bonded fabrics, and welded seams. So all of these three things, it's similar to Visvim. I mean, not comparable to Visvim, but similar in nature to Visvim, who has an incredible eye for detail and makes sure that everything is done to a T. And because it's done with such craftsmanship, it increases the longevity of the garments, which I have said already and will probably say ad nauseum, because that is one of the main features of the brand that goes hand in hand with the creative aspect. So personally, my favorite season was the Fall/Winter 2017 collection, in which they featured a lot of ink blots and their signature, silhouettes of the chinos, the bomber jackets, and all of these intricate little components that you can switch in and out of the garment. So you're really getting more than one piece, which I personally like, especially if you're paying out an elevated price for something, or even if you're paying a lot of money for something that's worth every dollar. I like knowing that there's versatility in the garments as well. So that's a really big component of OAMC. So since the brand has only been around for about 4 years, there's not too much background history or information on them apart from what I've already talked about. So the garments do really speak for the two men and the brand itself. They have a very blank slate in which they can kind of create and throw things on, and that with time will obviously build up the brand's essence, in which it has three major components. It's the chinos, their shirts, and their outerwear jackets. And these three silhouettes are key to their collections because they have such versatility within them. It's not just your typical shirt, not your typical chino, not just your typical bomber jacket or fisherman sweater. None of those things are basic. They might use basic materials like cotton or wool, but they upgrade them in terms of color and shape and weight even. A lot of the jackets that I have had the luxury of working with over at Alta Hume, the store that I work at here in Boston, are very heavy in nature, but they really are statement pieces. Therefore, three key silhouettes really speak volumes about what the brand is trying to do, in which I have identified them as their chinos, their shirts, and their outerwear. You know, all of these really do embody those components that we talked about earlier about, you know, elevation, but functionality, durability, but also longevity in terms of design. And all of those three different silhouettes capture those things. You know, it's not your typical basic button down. It has a component of elevation, whether it's, you know, the detailing on the back collar or the design that's on the front. You know, everything kind of comes together and creates this attire that is the modern uniform for creatives. And with that, I hope you guys like learning a little bit more about OAMC and everything that the brand has going for them. Definitely go ahead and check it out. I'm going to go ahead and link the Farfetch site that is connected to the boutique that I work for here in Boston called All Too Human, so you can look at some of the pieces that I've been talking about in my video as well. And you know the drill. Go ahead and drop a comment down below as to more brands that you want to learn more about. I have a growing list of over 60 of them now to get to, so I promise that I'll get to every one of them in due time. But until next time, I'll see you guys next time. Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright guys, peace out. Sugarwoman out. P.S. If there's anything in the videos that you don't feel is getting touched upon, like if there are any gaps of information that you want me to fill, go ahead and leave that down in the comments below too. Because like, even though I'm low-key doing this for fun, I want to make sure that everyone benefits too. Like I want to make sure that you're learning everything that you want to learn about as well, and it'll just push me to learn as much as I can as well. So 2 birds, 1 stone, 1 comment, leave it down below.